Good morning. Welcome back to the Spirit of the Valley. As most of you know, we have a lot of shows on balanced lives, and a lot of it is activity and then a real job. Usually the former's more fun, but I have someone sitting here who does to get both in one job. Patti Friedman, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
I am too.
And Patti's, I don't want to say icon because she'll blush, but she's very well known in the Upper Valley through her work at CCBA, and 25 years worth?
25 years, yeah.
And
still
she's
going.
recently broken a lot of hearts over there by moving to another position, but one that is, I couldn't feel more strongly about in terms of what this place does, and it's Hypotherm, who everyone knows and knows that they do well by their people. They have vision. But it's about a corporate wellness program. So first of all, you had 25 years at CCBA.
I did. I started back in '86 and as the program director there, and then I actually started at the original Carter Community Building prior to the Witherell Center being open. And then in '87 that opened, and I jumped the road in the parking lot at the Senior Center.
That's about right.
Yeah, and went to the Witherell Center and became the associate director over time as we sort of expanded and grew, because there's been a couple additions on that building and we needed more staff to run that. So my role was the associate director of managing and helping run the programming and overseeing the facility.
Were you overseeing each other coordinator?
Well, we had a program team that, as a director, there was a fitness director, an aquatics director, the children's preschool director. So there were multiple folks, and my role was bringing them together and seeing how we could all work together.
Which is what is going to be one of your best assets in your new situation.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So 25 years later, thinking probably you'd be there forever and
I think
go toes up in the middle of the basketball court or something.
Myself and I think a lot of other folks. I never, ever in my wildest dreams thought that I'd be shifting careers.
Exactly.
I'm very happy I did.
Yep.
Bittersweet, because I certainly, my heart is still a part of the CCB. As you know,
she
Judy
comes
back
back
to my
every two times a month and does a weekend class, and all her fans show up in the middle of a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
But I remember the day that Patti announced this, which was, talk about bittersweet. It was almost like a death in the family for some of those people, and I think I told you that. They were grieving it. They had to get past this. It was a big loss to them, and I'm not trying to grow your head. I'm just being honest. I think people honestly said, no, that just that can't happen. Can't be. I didn't hear it right. What can we do to... And they went through a real serious process, and then when they realized that they liked who was coming in and they liked the replacements, and the actual activities changed only by personalities, but nothing changed otherwise. And not to say that you weren't missed, you still are, but you never left, so we can't miss you anymore.
We
can't get rid of her. She's still there. But it made a big difference. People's eyes lit up when they heard that, and that's a real compliment to you.
But I look at change as opportunity, and I kept telling people through that whole transition that this is an opportunity not only for me but also for the folks there, and that I wasn't going far away, and I'm not far away, and still doing the TRX and the classes, and even though I still see folks and say come back, come back, come back, I still feel that I'll always be there.
You have a good balance too, though. You have you're over there enough to reconnect with people and be seen and appreciated. But I remember saying to someone once who really was sort of angry, I said, you got to think about Patti here.
Thank you.
We're suffering, we're sad, not suffering, we're sad, but look what she's doing. She's got an opportunity to pretty much be on the ground floor of something. And corporate wellness, may I say as an editorial comment, is something that it seems like no one does it but Hypotherm. But some people do it in different ways, but they don't do enough, not enough do it. And some of the bigger institutions, even in this area, do very little to help their employees stay fit and healthy. And I see it all the time in a certain medical institution. And I just say, how can that look okay to the patients? How can that look okay to anybody to have that as a model? But so tell me about what your program does, because I don't know the facilities or...
Yeah, first off, Hypertherm is an amazing company and what they do for the associates. And I am so fortunate and so lucky and feel that way to be a part of Hypertherm because actually the CCBA has been a contracted instructor there for years.
Yep.
So I've taught there and I've been familiar with the company and Barbara and Dick and just the relationship they have with the Upper Valley is tremendous. And so to be able to go in now and work with those folks there and make changes in people's lives is really what it's all about.
It's what it's about in fitness.
Yeah.
I was in fitness at another club for years, and it was all about what's going to make this person healthier.
Right. And you know, the Hypertherm, they're so big in the Upper Valley, and I even think people don't realize how big they are. I mean, they have 11 buildings in the Upper Valley, and 4 of them currently have fitness facilities. And the new building that's coming, opening up in September on Heater Road, is going to have more fitness facilities. So, in the sense of when Barbara started the aerobics classes and the fitness classes there, it's always been a part of Hypertherm because she and Dick both have a passion for it.
I used to train right next to them in another place.
You know, and so it's always been a part of Hypertherm. But as Hypertherm has grown and people's lives have changed and gotten busier and more stressful and that whole component, there's been a need to expand that, and it's about the health as well as the fitness. It's, really when you talk corporate wellness, it's the mental, it's the physical, it's financial, it's spiritual, it's all of it. So it's a really big picture when you think of it, and to be able to expand on that. And what I did at the CCB was great. It's people coming wanting to get active. Now in a manufacturing world and production, there's a whole different mind of how you go about getting people to realize how to take care of themselves.
Incentivize them in different ways.
So,
but I think I did a consulting job with a company in West Lebanon where they did an incentivized program every year to get their employees healthy, and part of it, and there was some compensation involved.
Oh, absolutely.
If you could climb a 4,000 foot, you'd get $100. If you could go to the Proudy 100 next year, if you upped your mileage in the Proudy, you got another 100. Keep a log of gym trips. I mean, there were a lot of ways people could get a little money, but it also, not only from a business point, cut their premiums.
Right.
They had much more energetic workers. And happier workers, because the ones that particularly did it early in the day just came in full of it and just raring to go. Everybody wins.
Yeah, it's it's exactly what you're saying. It's absenteeism. It's the production output. It's about going to work in a better frame of mind. Really, is what it is. And we've really started to focus more on the families as well, because what you do at work and when you bring that home can impact your family. So trying to incorporate the families is really critical, and I love that piece. And
stress is just everywhere now. Stress, everyone is just, they don't even know it sometimes, but a lot of the issues they have in their health and their body are due to stress. It involves sleep. It means people going to work in crummy shape. Which is why I like early morning stuff, because it just energizes you for the whole day.
Well, you talk about the 3 shifts. I mean, Hypertherm's a 3-shift operation, and so I've been there with the folks in the wee hours of the morning and working with them. And sleep is one of the biggest things. And
it is.
The other piece is eating, and their nutrition. And I'm not a diet girl. I don't believe in diets. I believe in eating healthy and making the right choices, and helping folks that are at work from 11 to 7 in the morning, and how do you eat, and when do you eat, and what do you eat at those times is completely different than the person that works your. So
you do build in some nutrition? I'm assuming.
Actually the Hawk, which is you and I have talked about it a little bit, but the Hawk is the Hypertherm Associate Wellness Center, and in 2009 Hypertherm brought on an RN and a physician assistant to be part of the Hypertherm family. Now it's affiliated through DHMC, so we have a great relationship with them. And Cheryl Alinsky and Deb
Cheryl
Guidotti.
Alinsky, who you met here recently, is on the Hypertherm team, which would make it obviously right off there, energetic,
yeah.
inspirational team.
The three of us just work, really well together. But the Wellness Center, having Deb and Cheryl there, there's a lot of health coaching that goes on. And, with Cheryl's background and Deb being an RN with corporate and community health background, she's been there since 2009. So she's the, the standby. She helps lead Cheryl and I down the path because we're the rookies still. But it's been great to have that relationship with the two of them because we bring such different components.
Absolutely.
And working with the associates, we're very hands-on. We work building trust, building relationships, getting people to believe in that this is better for them. And you mentioned the incentives. Hypertherm does do incentives, but we also want people to believe that you don't have to be, paid to exercise, but there is something to be said for.
But doing it enough should make it a lifestyle anyway, and that's what you're looking for, is to make it, that comes first on the calendar.
Right.
And that's how I live now, is just, I'm doing 7 different volunteer jobs, but I told them I all have to be afternoons because I
want my workout.
I'm going to be at the gym first thing.
And if you're not there, you'll be tracked down.
Right, just about. Because they say, where were you? Where were you? And they'll say it this morning. But that's what made the difference for me when I was doing all the training I was doing. It was a date on the calendar, then with a specific person, but now it's sort of with the class instructor.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, it takes you to get it into a lifestyle. Is what's going to work for you. But some people have families. Some people don't have a lot of time.
Right.
So if companies will let it be built into their day, it isn't asking a lot of a fairly big, successful organization to, hey, with an extra half hour on my way in, I'm going to go run or get on some machine.
And Hypertherm's great about flexibility, and they do allow folks, and so obviously the manufacturing and the production piece of it's a little more challenging for the leaders trying to get the associates to find some time, but they do that. As long as they know ahead of time that there might be a wellness fair, an activity, or something coming up, they'll try and work it within their schedule. And we try and schedule things either beginning or ends of shifts so that folks can either get it before they go on or after they go on. But we also, when I started there, one of the benefits that I can bring to the company is that I am a certified instructor and that I can teach 30-minute classes, which allows time to get somebody to come off the floor for 20 minutes, or I can meet with somebody for a quick period of time and have that one-on-one, where before they didn't have that.
Well, if you're doing it on your own, I mean, most of us, I know I've always kind of liked the structure of someone kind of beating up on me a little bit, because they're tougher on me, as they should be, than I am on myself.
Sure,
so they're with someone for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, they know that they don't have to do the thinking part. So that's the hard part, is setting up your own little program. So you've got people that are, I don't know, there's something so enlightened about that place. I could talk about it forever, and I know them, and they are exactly like that. They think way down the road.
Absolutely.
But the fact that every new building or every new piece of Hypertherm, there's automatically, as well as building in the manufacturing piece, there's a fitness piece already in the plans.
Right.
It's not an add-on.
No, it's in the forefront because they know, and we know, that obesity right now is one of the biggest challenges, not only for Hypertherm but also for the country. We know, we can talk about it, and it's something that we are addressing and are going to be addressing with a lot of the programming that we're doing between the Hawk and myself. And blood pressure is the second thing that's really high, and that comes with the environment, diabetes.
It's incredible.
So by knowing that if you can provide an opportunity for the associates to take care of themselves, whether it's before work, after work, during work, then it's a win-win situation.
And even somewhere else, if they travel, they might say, does this hotel have a gym? That was a whole change in our world when we'd go somewhere, and first thing we wanted to know was there a fitness room?
Yeah.
I'd never done that before.
I'll tell you, we just did a whole wellness packet that we're sending to all our DSMs, which are the district sales managers, so that they feel that wellness is important to them. They travel miles, and they're in their vehicles. They're eating fast food. They're eating on the road. They're not eating right. And there's been a big change when we did our biometrics and health risk assessments, that there was a big change in that population, in that group. And so we're trying to reach out to them, get them more make them more aware and make them, you know, seeing more emails from Patti and feel like
I know it's in this one. She says not about work, but it really is in the subject line.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that you've got to reach out to everybody. It's not about them coming to us, it's us going to them and make them feel like, oh yeah, you know, I've got that 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long time. The fitness industry has changed so much. It used to be, you know, get your 3 days a week, an hour in a class, blah, 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 wear your Jane Fonda, and that is so gone. I tell people, go walk around the building for 10 minutes. Get up, move.
I have a group of women who aren't terribly into gyms, but they know they need to be doing something more, so I've got a walking group now. We do 4 or 5 laps around our pond a couple of times a week, and that's 5 miles or a mile a trip. So it's an automatic mile. So last night I did this with someone who really isn't into much exercise or athletics or anything, and she was a little huffing and puffing, but by the end of it I said, "You just walked 2 miles. I bet you've never done that before." And she said,
"It's fabulous."
Oh, am I proud of myself. So yeah, it doesn't have to be fancy. I take in my suitcase one of those bands that I can do all kinds of things with and then walk wherever I am. But I think it's just become something that is just become so important to you because you don't want to go backwards.
Right.
You can feel really, I feel almost like a slug when I miss a couple of days.
That's it. It's got to become, like you said before, it's got to be routine. It's got to be a habit. And it takes people a period of time, like anything, when you're trying to quit smoking, when you're trying to change any habit that you've been into, then it's going to take you 4 to 6 weeks as a norm to get yourself.
Well, and also you want to go at it the right way, which is baby steps. I mean, when you talk to someone, Joanna Graber was here recently, and we were talking about the nutritional piece, and I've been to places or read things where they basically say, okay, you've got to change 100% of what you're doing. Well, that ain't going to work.
No, it's not.
And you say, okay, look, take away that one little ding-dong at the end of the day. Then you say, instead of that, have some nuts, or do little things. But I ultimately, 10 years ago, had a trainer who did the one little piece of nutrition at this club, and she got me off all processed foods.
That's great.
And it was the healthiest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's definitely a challenge too, because part of the Hypertherm, we have a cafeteria, and of course we have vending machines.
Of course you do.
Of course we do. And so, when I first got to Hypertherm, I was sort of evaluating and looking, and now we're going to be working with the cafeteria staff to, establish a healthy environment. It's not about, we don't want people, we're not going to force people.
Take away everybody's hamburgers.
It's not going to happen, and we know that. And you're just going to have a rebellion. But what it is providing healthier choices and options. I mean, in the mission statement of Hypertherm, it says right in there, provide for the well-being. Well, guess what, folks? That's what we've got to look at.
Who you are right now.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. I've seen places that have simply taken one step and added a small salad bar.
Yeah.
And if someone sees that as an option, and rather than having to make one at home and take the time to do it, they'll go to it.
Yeah. When we made little changes in the cafeteria, as simple as having some type of vegetarian or vegetable on. We do have the salad bar, we have a sandwich bar, and then we have the hotline. And I've tried to work with the chef to say, okay, every day we need to have some type of vegetarian or vegetable option on the line. And he's like, it's okay, he's worked with me. But I'll tell you, we have more people now that are going in looking for that option that never would have stepped foot in that cafeteria.
And that's the only thing you have to do is show someone something that's there for them that they would never have made themselves or even look for with all the other goodies that come first. So the nutrition is a really big piece of it. I'm glad to hear that because not enough people in the training, coaching, teaching world have had the nutrition background. And I remember several people I used to work with, I'd say, okay, now I'm great, I love what we're doing, but tell me what I can do about this little gush I have around my middle. I said, I don't know, just...
The gush, I've never heard it referred to.
Gush. Believe me. But they'd say, well, I don't know, just eat healthy. And I'd say that wasn't helpful.
No, you need...
So you need a little guidance. Actually, I thought I was. And I was, but Joanna was very, very helpful. I found that I couldn't diet anymore, and I couldn't count. I get obsessive if I count calories or carbs. So I just go on the hunger satiety scale now, and I'm eating just enough food, reading myself well enough to know when to stop or when I really do need to eat. And it comes out just even. It comes out absolutely great.
Yeah, it's about eating throughout the day, small.
Grazing.
It is the grazing piece. And actually, we run a couple programs. We do, right now we're in the middle of what we call the Winter Passport, where associates can meet with Deb and myself, and they have to set a goal for 8 weeks.
Perfect.
And it's been amazing to see what some of the choices are. There's your obvious, well, I want to lose some weight, and then I need to change how I eat, and it really comes down to the most that people want to do is you can lose weight by changing your exercise and your eating habits. So we've made the weight be the sub-goal. People shouldn't be really consumed with losing weight. It's about changing your lifestyle.
The balance of the health of the eating and the exercise is far more important than looking at either one. You can't do them alone.
No.
I don't believe you can.
I mean, you've heard this before, I'm sure, and I'll say it again, is the only way to lose weight, really, and to keep it off and maintain it the healthy way, is you need to burn more calories than you take in.
It's so simple. and yet people don't want to count, and they have trouble with keeping track of, am I doing that? You know you're doing it if you, and I say this only because I like gyms, if you're in classes, if you're in enough of those classes like yours and the other ladies in TRX, if you do that, I do that 6 days a week now.
Yeah.
I know I'm burning enough calories.
Yeah, sure.
And I think sometimes I undereat.
Yeah.
But
you'll find that balance.
I do. Oh, I've got the. I think it's okay. I think it's the fact that you feel good. I'm almost 70, and I feel 30.
Good for you.
Whatever that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to know how you feel at a certain age, but I mean, I don't feel
You
like
can compare
a number that sounds old.
People, right? When people say to you, "I didn't know you were that old,"
and
you're like, "Good."
Yeah,
you
exactly.
sort of. Everybody gets a little taller, right?
The most fun is I can hike and roughhouse and play with the little grandchildren who insist on being on the floor roughhousing most of the day.
Did you know Hypertherm had trails? Actually, when you said hike, there are hiking trails, and they're used for mountain biking and snowshoeing behind the facility on Great Hollow Road.
Are they just for the employees?
They are not. Actually, we've been working with the Upper Valley Trails Alliance, again, another partnership that, as we know, Hypertherm works with a lot of groups.
The more people you link with.
And John Taylor has been great with helping us. We've walked him out. And you know what, we're talking about what we do, the wellness committee at the Hypertherm, there's about 20 associates that are part of that wellness committee, and within that there's other committees, as we know, committee. And there's a group of folks that use those trails and do a lot of the maintenance on them, and it's been a great relationship watching them and what they do on their trails, and the opportunities they have getting out there. And they don't only use the trails behind Hypertherm, but there's trails behind Creary, then of course you've got the Appalachian Trail. So that area where 21 Great Hollow is, lots of trails. And then we've got the Hypertherm Associates over in West Lebanon there's trails up by the airport. So we have a large contingent of folks that get out.
There's a great trailhead at the hospital by the cancer center. I love that one for snowshoeing, for anything. But I think the more opportunities, the better. Obviously, these guys can't say, "I don't have any. I don't know where to go."
Yeah. Oh no.
I don't have something near my house. They probably, if not the house, they have it at work.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have to tell me later where to find this trail, because I'm always looking for places to hike. But I think if it can keep you, it keeps you from so many things. I mean, the bone thing is my big thing. The
bone
the
density
weights and
strength,
the body weight and all that kind of thing. I think that's where it's paid off the most for me. But I think it is just a lifestyle. We're going away for 12 days next week, and I'm already freaking out about whether there's going to be a decent gym in the hotels. And we're doing some touring on trolleys and down south and wonderful things. But I'm already leery of 12 days without the pace that I'm used to.
Right, having the
and
class.
the vigorousness I'm used to.
Yeah.
So I just have to, I'm finding a way to just say, let go of it. You need the vacation more than you need to worry about that right now. You'll find a way to walk.
You'll be busy enough.
I'll do enough.
Yeah, you'll do enough. Because if you don't, when you come back,
it
will.
I'm already emailing a certain fitness director midway through the trip to book up my TRX because
There
I
you
can't do
go.
it this far ahead. He knows I'm going to do it.
That's
But I just think for those of you out there that have anything to do with corporate situations, here's a model that just is that, a model. I'm sure you wouldn't mind questions from people if
Absolutely
you...
not.
If we
Feel
give your
free.
Patti.Friedman@hypotherm.com.
Yeah. And it's
we'll put
Patti
that-
with an I.
It's what?
Patti with an
Patti
I.
with an I. We'll put that on the screen during the taping. And if you have any questions, whether you're from a corporate situation that has some power to do something like this, or even an enlightened boss you could suggest it to,
Yeah.
I would recommend it. I just think there are too many people out there working that are having a much harder time doing it because of the shape they're in.
Yeah, there's a few companies in the Upper Valley. Actually, Melissa Miner, who's at Dartmouth College, as their wellness manager, she and I meet regularly. Actually, we're meeting tomorrow morning to compare. We've met. Mascoma Savings Bank has an individual. I haven't met with King Arthur, but they also
they would do. Oh my gosh,
they're definitely
they're like
expanded
Hypotherm in a lot of ways.
A
they're
lot
family.
of ways. Yep. Very similar
I
practices.
just think it doesn't take a ton to do it.
No.
I think, and some of them are going to want to do what I know CCB goes and does a few boot camps over at the hospital, and you go. You used to go to Hypotherm and do stuff like that.
Yeah, and CCB still does come to Hypotherm for classes.
I think it's just something that it isn't going to take a fortune or a lot of time, and everybody wins if you do it, including you business people. You get a lot back from this in terms of...
It's an investment.
It is.
It is making your company a better company. Really, if
go.
you can invest into your folks, then it's absolutely the right way to go. And we've already seen participation numbers. Just to, from a comparison, 3 years ago when they did the biometric screenings, there was 11% participation. The second year they did it, it was 59. We're at 80%, 79.2. So I'm not quite at 80, but it's in 3 years' time. And it's, yes, there was an incentive to participate, but it is about learning your numbers, knowing knowing what you are doing for yourself, and then making changes.
But you know what else is fun? The rippling. I noticed that my family, and I'd always been an athlete, so I thought, I'm fit. What's up with that? But it's a different world, fitness versus just sports.
Absolutely.
And I played them all, and I find times when I like the fact that I can go anywhere my kids can go. I can go anywhere the grandchildren can go and just be right up there on the trail or the ski hill or the skating rink. And that is my motivation at this point when they're at so young ages. I just want to do as much of that as the dear Lord will let me.
And that's what it is. Everybody's got to find what their own drive is. Personally, you've got to find. You found what it is. I want to be there for my grandkids, and it may be so many other reasons why people want to stay active. But to have an impact, and when I have associates that will say, I lost 5 pounds, or I stopped smoking, or I climbed Mount Cardigan, and it's just the success, and that people are starting to talk about it.
Look how proud they are.
Exactly,
and they want to do more because if you're normal, I should say, you want to keep moving up that ladder. And I used to market myself at this other place for seniors. I used to make ads with my hair, my white hair showing, and say, I'm a proud senior, and I want you all in here because it's never too late to. And that's what I see where I am every day. A lot of seniors, and they are working hard, and they are faithful, and they are there a lot. And I think some of those reasons with the fact that we all are living longer anyway, I'm not going to have a bad quality of life at any point. You can shoot me when I do. I've written that down in the directive.
So we know to shoot you.
If I can't go out and do X, Y, and Z, shoot me.
I'm done.
That's the fastest half hour in a long time.
We're done?
Yeah.
Oh, Judy, we could go on and on.
We could.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get you back because I think this subject and the way you deliver it, is just too huge to not keep in the forefront.
Yeah. Well, I love what I do at Hypertherm. It's a passion of mine. I believe in it. I believe in the folks there, whether they started or they haven't started.
Exactly.
And if there's anybody that needs some direction or guidance or help with what they want to do from a corporate wellness, and like you alluded to earlier, it doesn't have to be big. It's
it could
about
be
being
a
there.
mom and pop store. It could be a very small company without the worldwide ness of Hypertherm.
Yeah.
So Patty's email will be on the screen when this show airs, and I also will let you know when this show will air. And I want to remind you one more time, as a broken record as I am, not everyone gets CATV, but we at catv8.org, you can look up shows that have been on you'll find out what's up there. Everything we've done so far is up there. Just go to the videos on demand and put in the word Spirit, as in Spirit of the Valley, our show, and you'll get every show that's been up there, and you'll see everyone from Hannah Carney to and she's come back twice, and she's coming again in April, just to 16 straight World Cup. Got to talk about that.
Yeah.
So you can see these shows, and your friends who aren't able to watch right this minute, let them know the website, and they can always see the ones that have been archived. And I will let you know when Patti will show.
Great.
A certain friend of hers named Larry is up after this current lady, Cheryl Lelinsky, and then it's her turn. I'll let you know. I put it out on Facebook, and then hopefully everyone else puts it out on their Facebook, and it just ripples out through tons of different pages. And usually you get a week's worth, so they'll see you for a week.
Great.
So unfortunately we're out of time, and these really good ones go fast, I'll tell you that right now, but I really thank you for coming in, because I think your topic is something that has got to grow.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're all in trouble when you look around you.
Yeah.
Not so much up here as much as, but still up here. Anything you can do to get healthier in both fitness, mind, every way, makes you a better person and a better employee and a better mother, father, grandmother, whatever you are. So thank you so much for checking in with us today. And Patti, one more time. Yeah. That was a treat. We'll see you next time. And I'm not going to tell you who's coming next time. You just have to check in. Bye-bye.